Swing of things with Morning with Vernon.
The greats think differently. The greats see differently, right? The greats have a different worldview. The greats, they approach the game in a totally different way. So I need you to do me a huge favor. I need you to think about what you're thinking about when your effort is low. Because if you can get this, you can get any success you want in life. You can have anything you want in life if you can get this. The next time you give a low effort, right? You give it 70% or 50% or 30%. I want you to think about what you're thinking about when your effort is low. If your effort is low, you're probably not thinking about the opportunity. You're probably thinking about the obligation. And when you think about E.T., how you stay pumped up? E.T.'s how you stay on fire. E.T., how you always driven, even in the midst of trials and tribulations, even in the midst of your haters, when people try to break you and tear you down. E.T., how you stay strong. I keep thinking about the opportunity. Every single day, I'm thinking about the opportunity, and I'm not looking at this thing as an obligation. I'm not looking at this thing as something that I have to do, or that I'm forced to do, right? Something that somebody's making me do. Every time I wake up, I'm thinking, I'm alive, baby. This is the day. This is an opportunity. If you want what you've never had before, if you want to do what you've never done before, if you want to be what you've never been before, change your mentality. And I want you to see that effort goes up when you look at it as, I got an opportunity of a lifetime. But you should be excited about the fact that you have an opportunity.
It's time for Mornings with Vernon. Yeah. Yeah. Get up now. Come on now. Get up. For Mornings with Vernon. Get up now. Let's go. Get up now. Turn it up now. 1, 2, 3. Let's get it now.
Start your day with Mornings with Vernon on WBQP, Monday through Friday from 6:30 to 9 a.m. Watch on Channel 12 and listen on WBQP Radio on your phone, Alexa, or CarPlay. WBQP is your information station.
It's Tuesday. Get in the swing of things with Morning with Vernon.
It's time for Mornings with Vernon. Yeah. Yeah. Get up now. Come on now. Get up. For Mornings with Vernon. Get up now. Let's go. Get up now. Turn it up now. 1, 2, 3. Let's get it now. It's time for Mornings with Vernon. Yeah. Yeah. Get up now. Come on now. Get up. For Mornings with Vernon. Get up now. Let's go. Get up now. Turn it up now. 1, 2, 3. Let's get it now.
All right, everybody. Good morning. You know, it is Morning with Vernon this morning. Good morning, everybody. On the sound of my voice this morning, Tuesday morning, y'all. Tuesday morning. Can you believe it? Can you believe it is Tuesday already? That's what they always say. Can you believe it? Can you believe it? It's Tuesday already? Yeah, I can believe it. It is Tuesday, y'all. All right, let's get into it. We got a good show lined up for you this morning. Yes, sir, with Morning with Vernon, y'all. Morning with Vernon. I just want to say hello to everybody under the sound of my voice this morning with the Vernon, Morning with Vernon, the Morning with Vernon show. I want to say hello to all of my Facebook friends, all of my other friends that's out there listening. If you're on Facebook, you know what time it is. You know what you got to do on Facebook and social media. You got to let us know what's going on out there. You're going to have to subscribe and like and all that other kind of stuff this morning that you need to do. And we'll definitely will appreciate you. We'll appreciate you for doing that, okay? All right, y'all. Good morning. All right. I guess the first thing that I probably want to do this morning before we get into what we're going to talk about this morning, we always trying to start off the morning with a prayer, and I want to go ahead and continue to do that every morning, y'all, every morning. So I want to say good morning to everybody on the sound of my voice this morning. So let's have a word of prayer. Okay?
Hi, this is Gerald Gatson of Emmaus Baptist Church, Pensacola, Florida, and we come to you on this beautiful Tuesday that the Lord has given us. As a matter of fact, it's our Testimony Tuesday, and we've come to bless His name in sacred words of prayer. Let us pray. Father God, we come that we may testify on this Testimony Tuesday of your goodness in spite of our difficulties, our situations, our circumstances, in spite of what's ahead of us, as Mama would say. We've come to testify of your goodness and to say thank you. And so, Lord, this is our premise this morning. That is to bless you on this Tuesday, dear God, and to seek you out for the blessings of life. As we pray now in the belovedness of Jesus the Christ, our Lord, our Savior, our God, the master of the seed, our disparity. Amen.
Amen. Amen again. I'm going to say good morning to everybody under the sound of my voice this morning. All right. Now, I guess we probably need to go to Miss Kayla and give her not Kayla, say, get my folks mixed up. This is Lola this morning and see what's going on in the world of traffic this morning. Kayla, I want to say good morning to you, baby. How you doing this morning, baby?
Good morning to you too, Vernon. I am doing well. Thank you for asking. Are you ready for the traffic report? Here we go.
Good morning, Vernon, and good morning to your viewers and listeners. How is your Tuesday going? I'm Lola with your WBQP Tuesday Traffic Report. Traffic is moving steadily across most of Escambia and Santa Rosa counties this morning, with the usual increase in volume during the morning commute. If you're traveling eastbound on I-10, expect heavier traffic approaching I-110, 9th Avenue, and the Escambia Bay Bridge. Westbound traffic is also beginning to build through the same corridor as commuters head toward downtown Pensacola and the Alabama state line. On U.S. Highway 98, allow a few extra minutes between Pensacola and Gulf Breeze, especially across the Pensacola Bay Chappie James Bridge, where traffic typically slows during peak commute hours. Drivers heading toward Navarre and Fort Walton Beach should also expect moderate delays as beach and work traffic merge. Along Davis Highway, 9 Mile Road, Mobile Highway, Scenic Highway, and Pace Boulevard, traffic is moderate with periodic slowdowns at major intersections. Be alert for school buses, pedestrians, and emergency vehicles during the morning rush. As of this report, no major highway closures or significant incidents have been reported affecting the Pensacola area, but conditions can change quickly. Florida traffic information is updated continuously throughout the day. Remember to buckle up, put the phone away, leave a safe following distance, and give yourself a few extra minutes to reach your destination safely. I'm Lola, and that's your WBQP Tuesday Traffic Report. WBQP, your information station. Drive safely, Pensacola.
Back over to you, Vernon. Have a nice day.
Thank you, sugar. I appreciate it, okay? All right, I guess I need to go over to Cheryl and see what the weather's like this morning. Cheryl, what's the weather like?
Hi,
First
Vernon.
thing early this
Here's
morning.
your WBQP weekly weather forecast. Tuesday brings more of the same, with scattered thunderstorms and another 70% chance of rain. Highs reach 87 degrees with a low of 75.
All right, well, great then. The weather's okay. Well, how about the lottery? Y'all get your lottery tickets this morning. Sugar, did you check on your lottery? You want me to check on my lottery ticket, baby? How about that? What's the deal on the lottery tickets this morning?
Vernon, let's check those lotto numbers. Aren't you tired of working to support me? I'm feeling lucky. Get those tickets out and check them.
Damn! Well, maybe next time.
Yeah, baby, maybe next time. Hey, what can I say? Maybe the next time. All right, y'all, I tell you what we're going to do. Let's talk about what we're going to talk about this morning. We're going to cover some news that you can use this Tuesday morning. We're getting some stuff like that, and we also hopefully we're going to be at 7:30 time frame. We're going to be talking to Miss Shakita Payne about jobs after we finish the news. Then Jerry McIntosh will hopefully join us around 8 o'clock time frame, as well as we're going to get a city update. Okay, we're going to get a city update from the mayor or Mr. Cliff Collins. One of the two is going to check in on us today. And around 8:20 or so, we're going to be talking to Mr. Travis Thompson, y'all. The Pensacola Beach Air Show is coming up. He's with the Escambia County Emergency Management System, and we're going to be talking to him about safety and what you can do at the beach and what you can't do in terms of the drones and all that other kinds of stuff that you can and you cannot do here in Pensacola on this weekend. Hopefully we're going to get a little bit of a motivational thing. You want to go ahead and motivate yourself this morning. See what we gotta see if we can get any great motivation from you.
It's time for mornings with Vernon. Yeah.
Yep. It's time for Vernon this morning. I want to be able to do a little bit of Monday motivational for you as well. We get into that. Okay. Here we go this morning.
The greats think differently. The greats see differently, right? The greats have a different worldview. The greats, they approach the game in a totally different way. So I need you to do me a huge favor. I need you to think about what you're thinking about when your effort is low. Because if you can get this, you can get any success you want in life. You can have anything you want in life if you can get this. The next time you give a low effort, right? You give it 70% or 50% or 30%. I want you to think about what you're thinking about when your effort is low. If your effort is low, you're probably not thinking about the opportunity. You're probably thinking about the obligation. And when you think about E.T., how you stay pumped up, E.T.'s how you stay on fire, E.T., how you always driven, even in the midst of trials and tribulations, even in the midst of your haters, when people try to break you and tear you down, E.T., how you stay strong. I keep thinking about the opportunity. Every single day, I'm thinking about the opportunity, and I'm not looking at this thing as an obligation. I'm not looking at this thing as something that I have to do, whether I'm forced to do, right? Something that somebody's making me do. Every time I wake up, I'm thinking, I'm alive, baby. This is the day. This is an opportunity. If you want what you've never had before, if you want to do what you've never done before, if you want to be what you've never been before, change your mentality. And I want you to see that effort goes up when you look at it as, I got an opportunity of a lifetime. But you should be excited about the fact that you have an opportunity.
All right, y'all. Be all you can be. I want you to motivate yourself. I want to say good morning to everybody in the sound of my voice, particularly my Facebook friends this morning. I want to say good morning to all of you guys out there.
WBQP TV and radio, your information station.
Good morning to my Facebook friends, Lois Bless Pruitt, Janice Womack Ewing, Alan Young, Jeannie Costin, and everybody else this morning. Let's get to work.
Hey, bro. This is Alan Young. That Mornings with Vernon show is out of sight. I can't wait to tune you in every morning.
I am Lois Bless Pruitt. I am so blessed to have coffee with Vernon every morning during the Mornings with Vernon show. Join us. Love you, Vernon. Vernon, this is Janice Womack Ewing. No, I'm not related to J.R. Ewing, but I love you and the Mornings with Vernon show. Keep it up, and the show too. This is Jeannie. I love Morning with Vernon. Vernon, you really is the one. Jeannie, read my lips, honey. Vernon is the one. Now go run and tell that.
I love Morning with Vernon. Vernon, you really is the one. You really is the one. This is Jenny. I love Mornings with Vernon. Vernon, you are the one.
Hey, gang, let us all give Vernon a shout out.
We love Mornings with Vernon. You better tune in to see what you're missing.
Hey! Hey!
WBQP TV and WBQP Radio are the voice of the Black community in Pensacola.
It's time for Mornings with Vernon. Yeah. Yeah. Get up now. Come on now. Get up. For Mornings with Vernon. Get up now. Let's go. Get up now. Turn it up now. 1, 2, 3. Let's get it out.
All right, y'all. Good morning, y'all. Miss Mamie jumped all over me for using that. You, Vernon, you is the one. I know it's grammatically incorrect. I did it for effect, but maybe I go back and change it and make her happy. She don't want us being on TV looking ignorant. So I don't know. I told her she gonna have to, for a lot for us country folks as well as those sophisticated people that got them PhDs and stuff like that. But I guess maybe the old girl is right, but we'll see about that. Okay, see if we'll be able to change that this morning. I tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to let Orion give us a little bit of sports report before we go on to our first commercial break, and then do a sports report, and then we're going to come back. And I want to give you some African-American news that you can use, okay, after the sports report, okay? All right, go ahead, Alan. I said Alan Orion, my sports reporter.
I am Orion, WBQP TV sports reporter, bringing you the best in sports activities around the country and here in Pensacola.
Good morning, Vernon. Hello, everyone. I'm Orion, and welcome to the WBQP Sports Report, bringing you the biggest sports stories from around the country and here at home. The countdown is on to the 2026 FIFA World Cup final, as the world's biggest sporting event reaches its championship weekend. Millions of fans are watching as the remaining teams battle for soccer's ultimate prize, bringing one of the most successful World Cups in history to an exciting finish. Over in London, Wimbledon wrapped up another memorable tournament. On the women's side, Linda Noskova captured her first Grand Slam title in a thrilling championship match, while the men's final features Jannik Sinner taking on Alexander Zverev for the prestigious Wimbledon crown. In Major League Baseball, excitement continues as the league prepares for the MLB All-Star Game. Baseball's biggest stars will gather after the Home Run Derby, while teams continue battling for first place before the midseason break. The NBA Summer League is also underway, giving basketball fans an early look at the league's newest rookies and young talent hoping to earn roster spots for the upcoming season. On the hardwood, the WNBA season continues, with teams jockeying for playoff position as several marquee matchups headline this week's schedule. Cycling fans are following the legendary Tour de France, where riders continue to battle through challenging mountain stages and extreme summer heat as the race heads toward Paris. Local sports. Here along the Gulf Coast, the Pensacola Blue Wahoos continue their minor league baseball season, with fans packing Blue Wahoo Stadium for another exciting homestand. The Pensacola Ice Flyers are preparing for training camp and the upcoming hockey season, while the University of West Florida Argonauts continue summer workouts as football, volleyball, and fall sports inch closer to kickoff. That's your WBQP Sports Report for the week of July 10th through July 20th. I'm Orion, reminding you to stay active, support your local teams, and keep it right here on WBQP TV and WBQP Radio, the voice of the Black community. Have a great week. Back to you, Vernon.
All right, Orion, thank you, Bubba, for our sports report this morning. And I guess I need to go over to my girl, Naomi, this morning. Good morning, Naomi. How you doing this morning?
Hi, I am Naomi, your WQP TV African American news reporter, bringing you Black news you can use. Stay tuned. You heard it here on WBQP.
Well, good morning, Naomi. Again, I want to say hello and good morning to you this morning, Sugar. Do you want to go in and throw us up some of the Black news we can use this morning? We'll go ahead and we're
Here
listening.
are this week's top African American headlines. NAACP demands federal investigation after 2 Black men die in Tennessee. The NAACP is demanding a federal civil rights investigation following the deaths of Tyreen Johnson, who was shot by Tennessee National Guard troops in Memphis, and Darius Chappell, who died while in custody after a violent arrest in Clarksville. The organization is also calling for the suspension of the Memphis Safe Task Force until independent investigations are completed. NAACP launches $20 million Black voter mobilization campaign. As America marks its 250th anniversary, the NAACP announced a $20 million nationwide campaign designed to register, educate, and mobilize millions of Black voters ahead of the 2026 midterm elections. The initiative will focus on voting rights, civic engagement, and turnout in key states. Ben Crump and Al Sharpton join families seeking answers in Nolan Wells' case. Civil rights attorney Ben Crump and Reverend Al Sharpton stood with the family of Mississippi teenager Nolan Wells, demanding transparency as questions continue surrounding the circumstances of his death. The case has attracted national attention across Black media. Bowie State nursing graduates achieve 100% national pass rate. Maryland's Bowie State University, one of the nation's leading HBCUs, announced that every graduate in its nursing program passed the NCLEX licensing exam on the first attempt, an achievement celebrated as another example of excellence at historically Black colleges and universities. Mississippi judge speaks out after rumors spread online. Mississippi Chancery Judge Ashley Cole publicly addressed social media rumors linking her son to the Nolan Wells investigation, urging the public to rely on verified facts rather than misinformation circulating online. Former Jackson, Mississippi mayor pleads guilty in federal bribery case involving alleged corruption and is awaiting sentencing. The case continues to draw attention throughout Mississippi and the Black political community. New museum celebrating Black women's history receives $1 million boost. A new museum dedicated to preserving and celebrating the contributions of Black women received a $1 million grant, helping expand exhibits highlighting African American leadership, education, civil rights, and culture. Black father sparks national conversation after recording son's first police stop. A viral video showing a Black father documenting his teenage son's first encounter with police has renewed discussions nationwide about the talk many Black families have regarding interactions with law enforcement. Indiana Black Expo draws thousands. The annual Indiana Black Expo Summer Celebration welcomed thousands of visitors for events focused on Black business, education, healthcare, entrepreneurship, and youth leadership. Organizers called it one of the largest gatherings celebrating African American achievement in the Midwest. HBCUs continue strong enrollment and workforce expansion. Historically Black colleges and universities continue expanding programs in nursing, technology, engineering, cybersecurity, and artificial intelligence, while preparing students for another academic year of record interest and enrollment. Those are your WBQP TV and WBQP Radio African American headlines. For more stories affecting our community, keep watching WBQP TV and WBQP Radio, your information station, the voice of the Black community. Thank you, Vernon. This has been Naomi reporting WBQP Headlines News.
Thank you, Naomi. I appreciate it, y'all. I appreciate Naomi coming on. All right, y'all, we're going to take a quick commercial break, which my commercial break is never quick, but we're going to take it anyway, y'all. Okay, we're going to take a commercial break anyway, but when we come back from the commercial break, y'all, we're going to talk about some headlines, local headlines, national headlines, and international headlines as well, and just basically give you some news that you can use on this morning. So y'all stay tuned. We'll be right back. Okay.
It's time for Mornings with Vernon. Yeah. Yeah. Get up now. Come on now. Get up. For Mornings with Vernon. Get up now. Let's go. Get up now. Turn it up now. 1, 2, 3. Let's get it out.
Navigating heart care can be challenging. Baptist makes it better with the latest treatments and innovations and the area's largest, most experienced heart team ready to create a care plan just for you. All when you need us most. Let Baptist make it better. Baptist Healthcare.
I remember these. Will I have the money to send my kid to college? Well, that's specific. How long has that been there? 7-letter word for a bank that helps you reach your goals.
Synovus. Order for Synovus?
Thank you.
Are you Synovus?
Yes.
Are you gonna ask or should I?
A solid financial future doesn't happen by chance. Let's talk about your potential today.
For 75 years, Baptist has brought innovative care to our community. Through our Andrews Institute, we continue the legacy by providing advanced total joint care, restoring mobility, strength, and quality of life. Baptist Healthcare, here for you then, now, and always.
Vernon, it's Tuesday Sugar. Time to play Lotto to check last night's tickets. We gotta win, baby. Love you.
Why wait? With Pen Air's fast approvals and low rates, getting a car loan is easier than ever. Pen Air Credit Union. Join us.
Choosing the right school is one of the most important decisions you'll make for your child. At Jacqueline Harris Preparatory Academy, We provide a safe, supporting environment where students grow academically and personally. With strong core instruction and unique programs, students gain confidence, creativity, and real-world skills. At JHPA, we live by our motto, enter to learn, depart to serve. Enroll today and prepare your child to soar.
I'm Dr. Isaac Williams, and I'm running for School Board District 3. Our community is asking for change, and I agree. District 3 deserves change. District 3 deserves a representative who will listen, communicate, and stay connected to the community. Our students need every opportunity to succeed. Our teachers need support, and our community and parents need a voice. I've spent my time as a servant leader in the Marine Corps, as a pastor, as a community activist, and I'm prepared now to serve District 3 on day one. And I will be honored to earn your support and your vote on August 18th. God bless you. God keep you.
Keep growing.
Remember where you came from. It's the foundation of who you are.
Show up for others.
That's been our approach at Penn Air for 90 years. Penn Air Credit Union, 90 years strong.
Hello, I'm David Williams, District 3 Representative, seeking re-election to the Escambia County School Board. 4 years ago, I said, together we can make a difference. Today, I'm proud to say, together we have made a difference, thanks to your trust. And because of you, we do not have any failing schools. Our schools are safer, we've closed the achievement gap, and our students are college and career ready. I'm asking for your support again to re-elect me so that we continue the work that we started 4 years ago. Please visit my website at davidwilliams3.com to learn more about my initiatives I have accomplished and the ones I will pursue over the next 4 years. Early voting is August 8th through the 15th, and the primary is August 18th. Your vote is essential to keeping our community moving forward. Thank you.
This is Prayer Perspectives by J.O. Gatson on your WBQP.
Hi, this is J.O. Gatson of Emmaus Baptist Church, Pensacola, Florida, and we come to you on this beautiful Tuesday that the Lord has given us. As a matter of fact, it's our Testimony Tuesday, and we've come to bless His name in sacred words of prayer. Let us pray. Father God, we come that we may testify on this Testimony Tuesday of your goodness in spite of our difficulties, our situations, our circumstances, in spite of what's ahead of us, as Mama would say. We've come to testify of your goodness and to say thank you. And so, Lord, this is our premise this morning. That is to bless you on this Tuesday, dear God, and to seek you out for the blessings of life. As we pray now in the belovedness of Jesus the Christ, our Lord, our Savior, our God, the master of the seed, our disparity. Amen.
Hi, Vernon. Here's your WBQP weekly weather forecast. Tuesday brings more of the same, with scattered thunderstorms and another 70% chance of rain. Highs reach 87 degrees with a low of 75. By Wednesday, we'll finally catch a break. Expect partly cloudy skies with just a 20% chance of rain. Temperatures heat up to 91 degrees with a low of 76. Thursday turns even hotter, with a high of 93 degrees and a low of 77. We'll keep a 30% chance of an afternoon shower. And on Friday, we'll wrap up the week with mostly cloudy skies, a high of 94 degrees and a low of 77. Overall, expect a warm and humid week with scattered thunderstorms early in the week. This is Cheryl Mulrain, and that's your weekly weather forecast on WBQP TV.
WBQP salutes the spirit of America, celebrating 250 years of freedom. Happy birthday, USA!
WBQP goals are to inform, to inspire, to educate, and to entertain. The station that cares. The voice of the Black community. Your information station.
Station that cares.
WBQP TV and radio. The station that cares.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the show. It's a beautiful day out there, and let's get you caught up on everything.
It's time for Mornings with Vernon. Yeah. Yeah. Get up now. Come on now. Get up. For Mornings with Vernon. Get up now. Let's go. Get up now. Turn it up now. 1, 2, 3. Let's get it out.
All right, y'all. Good morning. It's Morning with Vernon. This morning, I tell you, we're going to try to get into some of the headline news we got going on this morning. So let's just jump right into it, y'all, before we get on to Shakita. Yeah.
Can you believe it's Tuesday already, Vernon?
Not only that, Vernon has news you can use, so listen up.
All right, y'all. News you can use. They done it again, y'all. They done it again. Yep. They not what I mean about they done it again. I'm talking about ICE, and we're gonna talk about what ICE did this morning. But let's jump into the subject of what's going on in Pensacola. They did charge yesterday, y'all. Yesterday, they charged a 16-year-old with handing the shooter a gun in downtown Pensacola, y'all. They did. I tell you, a lot of more stuff is going to drop on this case. 16-year-old been charged with handing, like you remember they arrested that young lady about that, right? They arrested a young lady about it, but now they're arresting they have arrested a 16-year-old person about in that shooting, handing another gun over. Y'all. I was talking to Lumen on yesterday, and I tell you, it's amazing about these young people and what we're doing with these young people here. I don't know, it's absolutely amazing there. But Anyway, something gonna have to be done. They charge this man with they charge a 16-year-old with aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, which is a principal to a second degree, and an unlawful possession of a firearm by a person under 16. It said he was the individual that handed Sanford the gun, the one that was involved with the shooting. The one that already got in custody. So you remember now, we got the trial here. This 16-year-old literally was the one that handed Sanford the gun that was shooting, and then he handed it off to the other young lady, which she's sitting in jail now if she hadn't bailed out. So again, there are going to be more charges to drop. Okay, now we're talking about guns. I want to just jump from a local story to a national story, which is, if it don't concern y'all, it should concern all of us. ICE is having another damn meltdown, y'all. They have shot a second person this time. This man was in Maine, shot and killed another undocumented worker. And on top of that, it is not the one that they was intended for. They was in unidentified cars, didn't have no body cams on, stuff like that, and it was involved in the man was in his car trying to go to work, and they shot and killed him behind the wheel of his car. We cannot continue to let this go on, America. Okay, we cannot have a law enforcement agency out there killing people as will. Okay, it's just gonna have to stop somewhere. Okay, gonna have to stop. All right, let me move on to another. Let's go back locally here for a minute. Okay, let's go over to Santa Rosa County just for a few minutes because this is important. You know, June is Black. This number one is not June, Vernon, it's July, and number two, June started with the hurricane month. That's why I had June on my mind. But over in Santa Rosa County, y'all, there are, and you might want to pay attention to this, even if you didn't want to drive to Santa Rosa County to participate in this, but pay attention to this station. I got hurricane tips that we are doing here to prepare you for the storm. You know, we've been blessed. We hadn't had a major storm here since 2004. Ivan, the one that took us down. We had a minor one or two since then, but it's been years since we had to experience hurricanes here. So we are up again, but they also reporting that we're gonna have a little less hurricane this year. That don't mean that we're gonna dodge the bullet, because these storms are getting more severe, okay, in strength. So keep that on in mind. So while I'm over in Santa Rosa County, y'all, let me roll over a few minutes over to Okaloosa County in Destin, where in Destin they arrested a councilwoman over there in a July 4th boat ramp incident. She accused of moving the man's truck. Let's understand what happened here, if you will. They say that a Fort Walton Beach man was unloading his boat from his trailer during the 4th of July weekend when his truck took off without him. It says in a matter of 7 minutes from that man getting on the back of his boat and trying to bring out his trailer out of the water and trying to put it in on the beach, all this took place. So the Destin mayor pro tem, and the city councilman accused of being behind the wheel of this man's truck. Okay, my name was I think it's Bear, if I'm not mistaken. But Bear told husband that she took the truck because he was taking too long and was in needing to move it. So now She's been arrested for that. Okay. So in Okaloosa County. She's a councilwoman. Lord have mercy. Okay. Let's move on to another story we're going to be talking about this morning. I got a very special guest coming on this morning at around 8:20 time frame. He's the deputy director of the Escambia County Emergency Management Center. And we're going to be talking about what's going to be happening this weekend out on Pensacola Beach. This is going to be the 80th, I believe it's the 80th Blue Angels show. Going to be kind of special, beach going to be crowded. And if nobody told you yet, we're at war with Iran. We're at war with Iran. The threats are out now against the United States. So we have to take really precautionary cautions, if you will. We have to take cautions now in order to keep our military safe, our skies safe, and keep us safe, as a matter of fact. So I said all of that to say there won't be any drone. They're going to ban all drones and kites and everything, probably within a 5-mile radius of Pensacola Beach, wherever the Blue Angels are saying. So don't be the one that I'll be talking about Monday morning. Don't be the one that because everybody got recreational drones now, and everybody got, I don't know too many black folks got a kite. That takes another. We can go fly a kite, but there are a lot of folks that out there do fly kites, but they abandon drones and hikes and stuff like that in this, mainly because of the safety of the folks at the beach, and also because the threat is against the United States is out. They don't know what any acts of sabotage that might be, and plus, y'all been keeping up with the news. Kites and drones and all these other kinds of stuff been hitting airplanes coming in, so they are not going to tolerate that this time. Okay, they're not going to tolerate that 10 times. But anybody got to have a drone or a flag, a kite, anything, that are going to be in serious trouble. They're not going to allow any drones within a 5-mile radius of the flight zone. And if you do that, they're going to immediately. We're going to talk to the deputy director about it, but they're going to immediately shut down the airspace until they can clear all of that out of the way. Unfortunately, last year they noticed a lot of folks that were flying drones and kites and stuff like that. But this year, and I think Mr. Thompson, which we're going to bring on, says that not going to be tolerated this year because of the intended threat on it. Now, if you do that, if you do happen to do that and get caught, you can be fined and you can be jailed. That's jail time. That's a $250,000 fine or jail time as a result of what the FAA is suggesting it that. So, but we'll talk to Mr. Thompson about Tompkins about it at 7:20. Okay. Now, in addition to that, you're going to have what I call a triple threat. They say it's triple indeed. You're going to have hot weather out there. We're going to have some potential bad weather out there. We're going to have potential traffic problems out there at the air show. So a lot of things is going to be out there this weekend. So Mike Wood said, if you're going to go out there for the weekend, you might want to go a day early because the traffic going to be hell. You ain't have nowhere to park. And not only that, if you do find a parking place, now they are charging you 3 times more to park out there if you're going to park out there in a private area, in a private lot there. I believe they said that back in 2024, it was charged anywhere from $20 to $40 to park out there a day. Now the charges are going to be anywhere from $60 to $100 a day just to park. You know, that's 150% increase, y'all. So what you need to know now? What you need to know is when you go out there, knowing that you may not be able to find a parking place. And if you're gonna go, you might as well plan to go early. Now I think everybody got the same idea in mind. And also don't get mad. Don't be getting mad at these people because one person charge you $100, another person charge you $150 to park. You know, just be aware of that. Okay, be aware of that. Now let's go back to Santa Rosa in Okaloosa County. And we talked about this yesterday in Escambia County as well when I talked to Mike Woods, Officer Mike Woods, Information Officer of the Pensacola Police Department. They had said that they got a national campaign to crack down on speeders. So this is across the country, y'all. So hear me, mind your speed now, because if you hadn't gotten a ticket with the things you've been getting away with, you're not going to be able to get away with it. I know within the next 2 weeks because they got this campaign going on the next 2 weeks to crack down on speeders. So obey the speed sign. Be forewarned now. This is called Operation Southern Slowdown. They got grants that they got officers on overtime and also on extended shifts and stuff like that. And they'll make that money back in tickets. I can tell you that right now. You gotta just say that I didn't warn you, okay? All right. The next story here is a feel-good story, I guess. The angel, this is over in I think it's over in Okaloosa County as well, when it's an Angel Bridge and Community and Disability Outreach they program over there. So I think we talked a little bit about that the other day, about that program. So keep that in mind, that these are good things that we're doing in the community. So we don't want to report all of the bad news. We're gonna throw something in sometime, but unfortunately, we have to throw in stuff like this. Okay, when talking about trying to do good in the neighborhood, and this man here, he wanted for stealing 3 AC units from the Brownsville Assembly of God in Pensacola and Brownsville. Yeah, stealing air conditioners, folks, from the church. He gonna steal it from the church, y'all. And that was a thing several years ago. That was really a thing. People were stealing air conditioning units. Now I guess it's back on again. And then we had to start fencing in our air conditioning unit. People start putting these units on top of the buildings and up and elevating them real high. And now you may have to start doing that again. So this man here is been charged with stealing air conditioning from the Brownsville church. You tell me. All right, we was talking about the unfortunate ice incident up in Maine. Here in our area, I think I reported this back some time ago. They arrested 9 illegal immigrants here in Northwest Florida for re-entering. They were deported, and so they came back, but they've been sentenced. Yesterday, I guess they was indicted for illegally re-entering in the United States. So so you keep your eyes out on that story. They got them as 9. It's 9 of them. I don't forget exactly. I think from a traffic stop, they all found all the individuals was gathered up at the same time. But I'm telling you, ICE is on the meltdown, y'all. ICE is on the meltdown. Okay. All right. Let's move on to another story of illegal immigrants, if you will. This story here having to do with a illegal immigrant pleading guilty to the production of child pornography with teens here in Pensacola. This 38-year-old illegal immigrant, his name is Osman Edgado. Osman Edgado. He's 38 years old. I think it's Edgado, Cuban Alavendrada. I don't know all these names, but y'all look for your other credible news stories to find out how they properly pronounce these names, because they get paid well to do it, to know these names. I'll just be guessing at these names, okay? But anyway, he's facing a minimum of 15 years in prison and up to 30 years for these incidents. Now, what happened, according to the U.S. Attorney's Office, they say between January 2025 and February 2026, whatever his name is, big name, whatever his name is, this man here was engaged in a secret relationship with a 16-year-old in Pensacola. So somebody alerted the authorities, and so the rest is history. He was video taped, okay, totally video. He was also video recorded the sexual act with the victim, and so as Janet would call him, perverts. Okay, Janice. All right, y'all. All right, let me get on to my next story here. I think we done talked at nausea about the Blue Angels show. If you hadn't figured out when the Blue Angels going to, they've been practicing and everything. Everybody been watching them practice and everything. But the Pensacola, the air show is going to run from July 15th through the 18th this weekend, y'all. Okay? July 15th through the 18th. All right, let me move on to another story here. 30-year-old man was stabbed. A 66-year-old man in the chest at the waterfront mission, y'all. More, look at it, had to be some of us, didn't it? Then, why don't we know how to behave? Y'all help me. He was charged Tuesday for this incident, attacking a 66-year-old man near the waterfront mission there on L Street. His name is Thomas Cordijo, okay? And maybe he looked like us, but I don't know what that last name. It ain't nothing like Thomas or Washington or Leroy, so he might have a little Hispanic background in it. I don't know. But anyway, he was arrested on the charge of attempted homicide and drug possession. And then now he's been held without bond in the Escambia County Jail. Now, according to the sheriff report, they say deputies initially responded to the crystals there on Fairfield for a cutting victim. And that's where they found a 66-year-old man with 2 stab wounds and 1 to the chest. And they later determined that this person attacked him near the waterfront mission over there. All right, well, let's go on to another international story, if you will, before we get out of here, because I gotta get Miss Shakita Payne on here in just a little bit here. But again, that war that's supposed to be ended in one day, okay, now going on to into the 6 months or something like that, from a president that promised no more wars and all that other kind of crap. What did I tell you about that boy? Something wrong with that boy. Every time he lying by just watching his lip move. He's incapable of telling the truth. And why we put up with this crap, I don't know. His boy is incapable of telling the truth. And why would we report on anything he would say? You got me. But anyway, the U.S. since Iran is blockading the Straits of Hormuz, okay, and now the U.S. is saying, I'm a little suspect. I'm a little suspect of the U.S. reporting on what's going on, okay? You remember what I remember always what grandmama told me. He said, son, there's always three sides to a story. Your side, my side, and the truth. Now, we're only hearing of what the United States are doing to Iran, okay? And you have to be suspect. Anything coming out of the Trump administration, anything that's coming out of the White House, you better fact check it and double check it, triple check it before you believe it. So I'm reporting this stuff because that's what the mainstream news are reporting, that the U.S. blockade on Iran and all that kind of. I know they're fighting back and forth now. And what I tell you about this ceasefire, okay? I believe a ceasefire is nothing but a time for them to reload. And I think the United States wanted a ceasefire better than Iran, because we got some pretty sophisticated weapons, but we ran out. I think we ran out of them. I think we ran low on those weapons. We didn't have enough time to reproduce them, and so we can start shooting again. Okay, there's no other reason for it, if you ask me. And another problem is, now we taking $1 million weapon, and Iran is using $1,000 drone to knock them down. Can you believe that? They produce all these little cheap drones, and so they can get millions of those little drones. And for every $1 million rocket missile that we send to their way, okay, and they might kill a lot of those little $1,000 drones, but one drone that can get through would knock down one of the American $1 million missiles. So you go figure, okay? Just go figure. War is stupid, y'all. I'm like Evan Starr, whatever his name. War, what is it good for? Absolutely nothing. Do we have to bring that song back out again? Y'all help me out now. Do we have to bring that song out again? I probably think that we do, okay? It's this stupid war. Stupid ass war. I'm saying it. Sue Strong would never say that, Vernon, on her newscast. She would never use language like that. Well, I ain't Sue. I just bring the news, my style, y'all. Just what it is. All right. Hey, again, you see what the headlines are. You can read that crap too. All right, let's go on to Mitch McConnell. All right, Mitch McConnell, y'all. Y'all know who Mitch McConnell is. I call him Bitch McConnell, but anyway, he's been missing in action. And they released a photograph of him saying that he's still breathing. I don't believe it, but let me tell you why. This is my theory. Probably has no war. I can't prove nothing. Has no war. It's just this is my conspiracy theory about Mitch McConnell. Unlike what happened in South Carolina and when the Lindsey Graham, we're gonna talk about that too. Lindsey Graham's sister. You're talking about nepotism and all that kind of stuff. Help me, Jesus. But anyhow, they appointed Lindsey Graham's sister to replace him to finish out his time, and she gonna probably get on the ticket and win his seat in South Carolina. Well, in Kentucky, because South Carolina got a Republican governor, okay, but I believe in Tennessee, I think it's Andy Beshear. I don't forget who's the Republican. I don't forget who is the governor, but I believe maybe it's Kentucky. I think got a Democratic governor. Maybe I'm wrong, but I think so. And guess who gets to replace the senator when they leave office or die in office? Is the governor. Okay, and so they're trying to keep Mitch McConnell alive. They're trying to keep him alive because they don't want this governor having to name a replacement, because he's certainly probably not going to name a Republican governor. So that's my theory, that they're just trying to keep him alive or trying to hide his death. But they claim he hadn't dead. But you look at him, and the only thing between him and death is maybe a mirror that show him breathing. I don't know, but he looked dead to me. But I think that's probably the reason. Now, this is the same man that cheated Barack Obama out of a Supreme Court judge, okay, a judgeship. Obama had a year in office when when a time to appoint when Heber was in. Just Mitch McConnell here was in charge of the Senate at the time. He held up that nomination, saying that because it was an election, he claimed it was an election year. He held up that nomination for a whole damn year. Okay, and so we didn't get a chance to appoint. Barack Obama did not get a chance to appoint his federal Supreme Court judge because of this person here. But then, see, I want you to understand what the hypocrisy is. When Ginsburg died, and we was in the middle of a political season. In fact, we were one month out from election. This bastard here allowed them to appoint a Supreme Court justice in 30 days, within 30 days of election vote. Good luck, Chuck, Mitch, whatever your name is. Okay. I don't care if it don't ever come back. All right, Chiquita, I know you're probably on there. But anyhow, that's just my news. But anyhow, you just stand by, sugar. And I know we got Chiquita and Edric on here, but this is news you can use. This is my style news, y'all. Y'all don't like my news, y'all like it, so y'all have to get from the professionals from WAR, WALA, WNBC, all those professional folks and all those sophisticated people that wouldn't say things like I would say it. But anyhow, Hunter Biden been in the news lately. Now, you see this Nick Fuentes, this racist son of a biscuit here, okay? He's a national, but anyhow, I wish I had time to get into this story, but I don't have time to get into that. I already talked about Lindsey Dam, Sweetie Pie here. His seat was filled by his sister yesterday. They appointed his sister for that appointment. Oh Lord, don't let my Trump derangement syndrome come in. You know, I guess whenever anybody else died that he didn't like, he sent out his tweets, his lies. It says true social, but they should call it lie socials. But anyhow, now he know he's in trouble, more in trouble now because McConnell is one of the biggest advocates of this SAVE Act. And we don't want this thing to pass because it's going to hurt black folks. It's going to hurt our voting thing. And so now he's on a real mission again to try to get that thing started again. Let's go back a little bit of local news, and then I'll be finishing in just a minute, okay? You remember we took down that Confederate statue up there on Palafox Street up there, and then now they finna reconstruct it at the St. John's Cemetery. So y'all go to, I believe the story ran in the Pensacola News Journal about that. So go to Pensacola News Journal and get all of that. Now we're talking about the Blue Angel show. I told you the chances of rain might rain them out. So prepare for that as well. Last thing I want to talk about here is the new PBS. You know, WSRE was a PBS affiliate, and according to that Trump administration, they cut funding for all of the public broadcasting, and so it affected all of the PBSs around the country. Okay, and so now WSRE is no longer. They cut affiliation because of the funding and stuff like that. They cut the affiliation with the PBS, and now somebody else trying to come in to step in and continue. Well, they had great programs. You know anything about Big Bird and all these other kinds of programs that you see that what's happening there. Y'all, I got to get over to some jobs over at ECUA this moment, because that's important. We need to make sure that we get employment. And 7:30 is dedicated for ECUA to come in and talk about some jobs.
Good morning. It's 7:30 on Tuesday, and this is WBQP TV. Our top story today, a major announcement regarding jobs from the ECUA. And welcome to Job Opportunities with Chiquita Payne. Join us every Tuesday morning at 7:30 for the latest openings, only on WBQP TV.
Hi, I am Chiquita Payne, and here are the job openings for today for ECUA.
Now that lady, that was the AI Shakita Payne. Now, they did a pretty good job on you, Shakita. How you doing this morning?
I'm good. How are you doing this morning?
I am doing good this morning. I see you got your cohort with you this morning, Mr.
Yes,
Edric. Good
indeed.
morning, Edric. How you doing? You was missing in action last week, bro.
Yeah, I was, but I am definitely here back at it again today.
Yeah, you was playing hooky. You were playing hooky on the job. Now somebody got me some background, but go ahead, Shakira. Let's talk about the job. Jerry, that you?
It might have been.
Okay, but also y'all know Jerry. This is Mr. Jerry McIntosh. He's also my co-host on Tuesdays and Thursdays as well. But Shakira, let's talk about jobs at ECUA.
Yes, so of course we have several jobs available. We're always looking for mechanics in different areas. We're looking for fleet mechanics, lift station mechanics to work at our recycling facility. If you have a background where you like to work on vehicles, equipment, what have you, take a look at the positions we have open. You would just go to our website, which is www.ecua.fl.gov. Click on careers, then current opportunities, and you'll see all of our positions that we have open. One in particular, as I mentioned, of course, fleet mechanics. We're always looking for fleet mechanics. If you've worked on vehicles at home, if you've worked at a shop, if you worked, just working with vehicles, you have that mechanical background and you like doing that type of work, we have quite a few fleet mechanic positions open right now.
I know, and I'm listing them all of the jobs that you have listed this morning. And so people, the only thing they have to do is very simple. Just go out there, right? Just go out there and go to what's the website again?
Sure, it's ecua.fl for Florida.gov for government.
Okay. Okay, very good, very good. Edric, good morning. What you got a 2 cents do you want to put in this morning?
Yeah, my 2 cents is we need fleet mechanics. We need lots of mechanics. Can't stress that enough. We need all those people that have those mechanical skills that love to tinker on cars. Come on, we need you. We've got plenty of jobs open.
I know, and it always amazes me why you all continue to have these vacancies every week. Okay, and some of them, I know some of these jobs are probably open continuously because you are needing, because the turnover rate might be often, but again, you look at these jobs, and some of these jobs here are trainee jobs. I see you got a wastewater collection technician trainee job, and a couple of trainee jobs that pays well. Shakira, how much y'all start paying for just trainee job? Give me an estimate of what the starting pay for a trainee job.
The estimate for most of our trainee jobs are starting at $18.63 an hour.
Okay.
So you really can't beat that coming in the door as a trainee. We're going to show you how to do the job. We're going to help you get the certifications that you may need. If you're needing a CDL license for that position, if you've been with us and stick around for a full year, we'll help you get that CDL license as well.
Yeah. But you know what though, Shakita, the thing that always amazes me is that you said $18 an hour, but everything is relative. How much is minimum wage in Florida?
Right now it is $14 an hour. It will go up to $15 in September.
Okay. And you compare that for a job you have no experience with, you're gonna get paid probably $4 more an hour for being inexperienced than going on a minimum wage paying job. Okay.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. Plus, if you have a career path with that position, most of our trainee positions, well, actually all of them, they do have that career path. So you're not going to stay as a trainee for long. You're going to flourish from there. We're going to, again, show you how to do the job, help you get the certifications that you may need. If you need the CDL license, we will help you get that. but you have that opportunity to advance in your career. So, don't look at it as just a job or going from job to job to job. This is a career. You have a career path that you can stay on and have a great retirement coming for you.
Two questions. Number one, probationary period, number one for I get, and number two, obligation. Let's talk about, is there how long your probationary period?
Sure. Now, our probationary period is for 1 full year. So if you come on now, you would be off probation this time next year.
Okay, good. Well, rightfully so, because you're offering a golden opportunity. Now, let me ask this question, okay? When you train in number one, you got trainees, you're paying at $18 an hour. You providing them some skills and helping them go to school and helping them obtain license and stuff like that. Is there a requirement, a minimum requirement that they have to serve to do all of that? Well, in other words, why are you fattening frogs for snakes?
So pretty much with the jobs, you do have to be in those positions for a certain amount of time in order to advance in the career. As I mentioned, we do have each of these training positions have a career path. They have a career progression. So you will be given that progression as soon as they start. So they will know what they need to accomplish, what classes they need to have taken. Most of these classes we do provide. It's either online or we have someone come in and give those classes to our new hires. So it may be 1.5 to maybe 2 years, but during that time, you're also gaining a lot of experience. You're gaining your licenses to, continue to advance to those next steps.
When I was in HR with the government, that there was a certain amount of time that you had to spend into a job. If you, let's say for an example, if you're there on probation, are you still eligible to apply for internal jobs even within that year when you're on probation?
Actually, with ECUA, you're eligible to apply for a job the first day. If
Really?
you come on board and there's another position that you applied for, you're very much interested in. I've had people come do an orientation asking me about their other application. So we don't want to hold anyone back. We want you to be able to flourish in the company. If you feel that your skill set is much better in a different position, by all means, feel free to apply for that. We don't force people or make people stay in a position for a certain amount of time before they can move over to something different.
Okay. Edric, you got anything you want to add?
I think Chiquita hit all the points for sure.
Okay. Jerry, you got a question for him about jobs? You need a job, Jerry?
I'm just
Jerry,
listening.
You worked into the water treatment area at one time, didn't you?
Yeah, I did.
Okay. All right. So, but anyway, is there anything else, Chiquita, we should talk about this morning?
No, I think that's all. Again, just go to our website, www.ecua.fl.gov. Click on careers, then current opportunities, and you will see all the positions we have open right now. Now, everything we do have open is on a continuous basis right now. So pretty much that means once that position is filled, the job comes down. So if it's something that you're interested in, please, by all means, get your application in as soon as you can so we can get you in, hopefully, for an interview soon.
Yeah, I noticed y'all added a couple new jobs on there this time. I forgot which one it was when I updated my list here. I know you had filled certain jobs and about 2 or 3 new jobs, like this MRF maintenance technician. That I think that was added to it, and a couple other ones that was added. I noticed when I was updating my list here.
Yes.
But folks, just look at this list. A whole bunch of jobs here that you like: a lift state mechanic trainee, a wastewater treatment train. I won't be put. If you don't have any specific experience, a lot of people do have experience in these areas, so you can apply for these other jobs, which pays a little bit of salary than the trainee job. But I was thinking about young people that have very little experience in their job. Trainee jobs is a golden opportunity to get your foot into the door. Okay.
Definitely. And also think outside the box of everything that you've done, whether you've worked at home helping someone fix something or, in school, what have you. Think about everything that you've done. Don't think about just the different jobs that you've held and you got paid for, because we're looking for what type of experience you have. Are you willing to, learn a new job? Are you willing to work outside in the different weather elements? So if you have that, make sure that you're putting that on your application so that way we can see all of your experience that you have.
Yeah, a lot of folks do. Thank you for bringing that point up, because volunteer experience is just as good as paid experience. So
definitely, yes, indeed.
If you got experience volunteering with the church, with organizations, or a hobby, or whatever, all that experience counts. So don't discount it. Don't sell yourself short.
That's right.
Because you might missing out on an opportunity. They say in the chat, you might be missing out on your blessings.
That's right. That's right.
Okay. All right. Is there anything else, Andrew? You got anything before we go?
No, sir.
All right. Shakita, thank you, sugar. I appreciate it. Okay.
Sure. Thank you so much for allowing us to come on.
No problem. All right, y'all. That's Miss Shakita Payne at the ECUA Utility. I got my buddy Jerry on the good. Jerry,
Bert.
how are you this morning? Glad to know you at your home, bro. Center yourself, bro. Center yourself. There we go. I kind of like to keep you in the center of things here this morning. At 8 we hopefully gonna be joined by Cliff or either the mayor this morning. I don't know which one. Cliff probably the one. That's me. I hit the wrong button here. But anyway, they usually come on around the 8 o'clock time frame. We give them a little time to talk about the city update, what's going on, the city update. So I don't know who's going to be on this one, whether they're going to be the mayor or whether they're going to be Cliff. But you better believe they one of the two are going to be on this morning. Jerry, while we waiting on them, we got a little bit of time. We can talk some politics this morning. Okay. If you will. Two things. Lindsey Graham is one favorite subject I like to talk about. And then Mitch McConnell is the other one, these senators that I'm talking about. But you know what, Jerry? God works in mysterious ways, sometimes. But you look at all of those senators. I was looking at a piece last night, and all of these senators are decrepit. I mean, they are so old. Chuck Grassley, he's 94, 95 years old. Everything, I don't forget what percentage of this Congress and this Senate that's way over 80 years old. It's time for a term limit, I think. They're there just holding up position. They can't even hardly hold their head up and stay awake and function, but yet we got them in charge of our country. They need to go home, Jerry. And they don't go home, maybe God will call them home, because it's just a matter of time. Just numbers on this, it's just days on their side there. But anyway, let me get off what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, Vern, that's based on seniority, and as long as they're there, they can hold these key positions in the Senate because they have the seniority to do it. And the only way they don't is because the majority of the people in their party voted them out. But like Mitch McConnell, Lindsey Graham, Chuck Grassley, and a host of others out there that has been there for years, and they hold seniority, they hold position of power that skews what we think the Senate ought to be. And because of that, they are making these draconian laws and allowing Trump to kill the environmental protection agencies, the education department, the civil rights division of the Justice Department, and they are doing nothing to stop it. when you look at the FCC, how they are using that against the people in the media conglomerate and the people that are backing them, that own these big media conglomerates now, like NBC and many stations here, ABC, local stations where these companies has bought up, these billionaires has bought up, so they can continue to practice what they have been practicing for 400 years to continue to make sure that the poor whites don't ever look at them for the things that they're doing by sucking the lifeblood out of the economy for their own purposes. And then these people are bought and paid for, like those senators, they're bought and paid for. So they are not concerned about the average person, because if there was, the Senate could do something about it along with the Congress. And you got people like Mike Johnson's that's there, who is nothing but a sycophant and a psychological piece of crap that should not be the Speaker of the House under any circumstances, who will do anything for Trump, to turn the country upside down. And that's the kind of people you got there now. And there's a long list of them who the Christian Nationals, the Heritage Foundation and all of that take care of, you know what I'm saying? And then you got these same people, Mitch McConnell, who swung the court so far right that that you can't, it's barely anything that you can get through the court that is just or for justice in any form, because he held up 2 seats on the Supreme Court that should have not been. He held up gorgeous seat. Gorgeous seat. And then he turned around and delayed the other when he said they weren't going to put nobody in.
It was Garland,
at the end of
Merrick Garland seat. Garland.
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 And you remember the person died at the end of
Ruth Ginsburg.
Ginsburg. She died, and it had a couple months to appoint somebody to the seats. They made sure that it wouldn't be Joe Biden, so they put somebody in right away and confirmed them right away. So that was 2 seats that was
less than a month for the election.
Right, right.
Yet he held up Barack's appointment for a year. He didn't get a chance to appoint Gorsuch. Gorsuch? Yeah. He didn't get a chance to make his appointment. Garland, he didn't get a chance to appoint Garland. So therefore,
he held that seat up for a whole year.
I know.
Yeah, talking about it was, it should be for the next president to appoint, but he did it for. And I think, President Obama made a terrible mistake when he appointed him. He allowed Mitch McConnell to tell him, well, Garland has been on the appellate court. It would be easy for him to get through. But everybody was telling President Obama, you need to get a woman, somebody that's going to, that the people can get behind and will fight for. They wasn't going to fight for no old white guy that was appointed and who was basically, you could see through the Justice Department why. When he was heading up the Justice Department, he did. I went to hear him, when he was speaking in Selma, Alabama at the church.
Yeah,
these
I
people
remember.
were fired up. When he got up, he was speaking, but it was like,
I was there, Jerry. I remember people started leaving. But but Garland, his actions, he had the opportunity to do some things. Trump wouldn't be president today if Merrick Garland had really did his job well when he was at the Department of Justice. But we also could, Jerry, I know y'all Democrats get mad at me. I'm a lifelong Democrat, and I know Jill and Derek don't like me to start saying stuff like this, but sometimes we are our own victim. You know, we are our own problem. Okay. Now we try to be so damn nice, and I know people. Two things are taboo. You can't talk about Michelle, and you can't talk about Barack. I know Michelle talking about when they go low, we go high. Damn, hell with that. That strategy. That strategy ain't working, Jerry.
You know, she did that when she was on the campaign trail, but since then she changed that too.
She done changed that too? Really? Maybe she found the error of her ways. Nobody gonna talk about.
Well, you know, she was doing what she had to do to help try to get Joe Biden get elected at the time.
Oh yeah,
and but you know, she's free to do what she want to say after. You know, she's not
Jerry, maybe maybe there is hope then for Jill. Remember that, you know, Jill on Our Voices. You know, she didn't believe. You know, I told them on Our Voices that we need to get in when you're in the mud, when the pig is in the mud, Jerry. We need to get out there. We need to get in the mud and go out and try to wrestle that pig out of the mud. So Jill's position is, no, we can't do that. We got to do what Michelle said. You can't sit on the bank and try to suey trying to get that pig out of that mud. You got to have to get in and wrestle that pig out of that mud.
I tell you, it's gonna be hard to hold on to him in that mud too.
You know, it's slick. It's hard to get him out.
Yeah, it's hard to get him out.
So really, you know, what's his name? The only one that I see of the Democratic Party are willing to get in that mud is Gavin Newsom, who I thought Gavin Newsom should have been the one that ran when Joe Biden ran instead of Kamala. No, don't people don't get me wrong. I think we should have a woman president. I think Hillary missed a golden opportunity when they did not elect Hillary. But I knew, Jerry, when they did not elect a white woman for being president of the United States, the chances of them electing a black woman was even less than that. Okay, so that's where I thought, in my opinion, when that issue came up, Jerry, I thought that, well, they should have let Gavin Newsom run, and I think Gavin had a better chance of winning because, number one, he's a white man, okay, and number two, he seemed to be a little more aggressive than Kamala was. But I think we missed an opportunity there. But my Democratic friends and Derek and Jill now, they don't agree with that. But anyway, that's my feeling. I don't know what your thoughts are.
Well, you know, it was a toss up between her and Newsom and the guy from Philadelphia, the governor. As far as I'm concerned, you know,
center yourself, Jerry, so you don't be off camera.
Okay.
Yeah. So I know for some reason that bothers me when people not centered, but go ahead. Because I'm a TV man. I know that.
I know what you mean.
Yeah, I know. You're a video man yourself. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. But anyway, I thought she had, you know, once she was there, you know, I thought she had a good shot at winning. But she only had so many days, you know.
Yeah.
I imagine if she'd had more time, it probably would have been a different outcome.
She did a great, but you know, to Kamala's credit now, she did a great performance. I'm telling you, great performance. And maybe she had enough time, she would have won. But you know, but I think she was too nice too. I didn't think she did not attack Trump like she should have attacked Trump. She was so trying to be so nice and pleasant with her campaign. I think we missed an opportunity. We missed an opportunity to remind people what a snake this man really is. All of the baggage that he carried, I just don't understand it. And my theory is he cheated. I ain't no way in hell that most folk would have voted for this fool, but all the bags he carrying. I bet you when it's said and done, this is my conspiracy theory, and it might take years, and I might be gone before all this comes out. But I believe that Russia and all these other, I think the reason he's talking about campaign about cheating, because I think he knew about it. He knew it can be done. And he know that they probably did it for him, and now he figured he figured now it's gonna be used against him. So I just don't understand how in the hell we could support a president like what we got in the White House today.
Well, Elon Musk, Trump said out loud one day that Elon helped him get elected. So, but he wasn't talking about with money. He was talking about with computers and stuff. So he said out loud what we was already thinking.
Right.
Trump will tell you, he will tell you in plain sight what they are doing. And most people don't believe it because they think, hey, ain't nobody gonna say nothing. They think Trump just hallucinating and all of that. But he's telling you, what you tell, when you're telling people something and they don't even know you telling them.
Well, but there's an adage they should say about that. You do the obvious to avoid suspicion. Right. People not gonna believe you're gonna tell them. They don't believe that. We got Cliff in this morning, Jerry. Cliff we're gonna have to divert for a minute because I want to know what's going on down at the city of Pensacola. I know Cliff is our third. He's our third host after he does all of the due diligence for the city of Pensacola. So he gives us the Pensacola update every Thursday. And so I'm gonna let him do his update, and then he gonna join in on the conversation when he has time. Cliff, good morning. How you doing this morning, bro? I am well. Welcome back to the show.
Thank you so much. Thank you again for what you do. And I see you got your co-host all set up this morning. No computer issues. That's amazing.
Yeah, when you get a minute, when you get a break, put them earphones in your ear. Cause put those earphones in your ear, because I can get a lot better audio out of you when you got them earphones in your ear this morning. But anyway, Cliff is here every Tuesday when the mayor is not on, and but he take it one step further, because when he finishes his update, then he joins up on the conversation. So he's my third co-host, if you will. Okay, Cliff, go ahead.
How about now? Can you hear me now?
That's a lot better, bro. That's what I'm talking about.
All right. I was actually thinking about these darn earbuds, and I forgot to put them in, and I was like, all right, what do we got going on? So interesting. The mayor will talk about one of the things this week, and I'm not sure if you guys are tracking, but this is the time of season where we have just a variation in different type of weather patterns, and I know there's some bad weather we're tracking, not hurricane type, but just bad weather that might hit the area either starting Wednesday, tomorrow, on until the weekend. It could be so impactful that it has an impact on the air show. Hopefully not, but it's obviously something we're tracking. And I think you got an emergency management person coming on here at 8:20. So he might have some updates on that and maybe be able to talk about it. Yesterday, we had our CRA meeting. And the reason I bring that up is because one of the topics that came up was Baptist and where we are with Baptist. So Josh gave a really good overview of where we are. Demolitions, it's underway. Things have already started. We're taking towers 1, 2, and 3 down. Should be down here probably roughly by the end of the year, and then we'll start on the main hospital in January. And I think we're on track. We really are. I mean, the biggest thing is keeping the comms up with the people in the community, making sure they're aware of everything. So our next sidewalk talk is July the 2nd at 7 a.m. It's at the Baptist campus with Josh Wallace, who is our owner's rep. Josh came and gave a great brief, as always. Josh is just keeping us on track. And I keep pushing him, saying, man, we might be ahead of schedule, which is a great thing if we are. And then August 5th is basically our next public forum. We'll meet with the public. We'll address any questions, concerns that they have, and kind of keep them apprised of that. And then obviously, sadly, You probably heard the PPD made an arrest of a 16-year-old in regards to the shooting from July 4th. What a travesty around the board. Just this whole situation, it really hits home. It should hit home to every parent, when you got young kids sort of involved in this stuff. And it's hard to really put into words. I know my frame of reference is one as a father, but also trying to think of, what was I doing at 16? And, what did my mom and dad say to me to sort of at least keep me somewhat on track? But obviously, there was going to be some, natural disruption in a kid's life, which that's fine. I mean, but something of this magnitude it's not fine. It's not good. And it tells you that I think there's a lot of stuff we got to get after. I mean, really get after substantive stuff. For the city, the other one is the budget. We should be closing in on our budget. With the looming tax issue on the ballot. We've looked at this budget in every way you can, and we're getting creative. To the mayor's credit, his leadership, we're getting creative. We're thinking about cuts already. We're probably going to talk about in some form or another a hiring freeze and how that's going to be implemented. And when people hear the word freeze, they think completely stop, but that's not necessarily how it's going to work. It's going to be sort of a tiered approach where, if somebody leaves a job and that director thinks that job is valid, meaning that it's significant for the city, there's a process that you submit the paperwork. It goes to the administration so we can kind of take a look at it holistically and say, should we backfill this position? And then when it comes to pay raises, when the mayor came in office, we did it. The city was pretty transformational in creating, closing that gap between people as far as, the job market. And, we were on pace, roughly getting 3% pay raise every year. That's going to change this year. It's going to be sort of this laddered approach. If you make, let's say, less than 75,000, I think it's like a 2.5%. And then, anything from 75,000, like 125, you're going to get like, I forget the exact figures, probably like 1.5. And then anything greater than that is a 1% pay raise. And that's the mayor's, to me, his vision to say, I want to be a good steward of taxpayers' dollars. And I think, to me, that should send a message to the people to say, the mayor's, he's trying to be frugal. He's looking at this across the board, and he's just trying to do a good job for the people of Pensacola to make sure that we manage their money right and, do right by the citizens. What else did I have for you? Go ahead.
But that y'all facing a couple of major challenges. I was just reporting just the other day about the ruling that they had about on the Children Trust Fund tax, that TIG, whatever they call that.
You talking about ECT?
Yeah, the ECT. I guess I don't know, whatever tax they used to get from the
the TIF. You talking about the TIF? The
TIF, yes, the TIF. That's what it was.
Yes,
the TIF.
Yes,
so you got that looming on you, as well as on the ballot this year. If that property tax thing goes through, that's another challenge you're going to have, because a lot of your funding, not a lot of, but a significant amount of your funding comes from the property tax. So the city got some real challenges ahead of them.
Yeah, we do. We really do. And pardon me with the sunglasses, but I can't see on the road right now. And these are actually prescription sunglasses, so they do help me see the screen.
I thought you want to be cool and impress these women that are looking at you.
No, I actually need them. So, get no. I used to say I was okay with get no, and I thought it was just, I was embracing it. But man, now I kind of feel vexed about a lot of things with get no. So, Bay Bluffs, that's one of our big projects we got. And we should be under contract with HDR for the site survey here, which is basically going to be a detailed structural assessment of that site. And we're looking for, the city's working hard to bring this thing to fruition and really close the gap as far as from time to contract to execution and sort of delivering something to the people. So it's going to still take a while. We're still 6 to 9 months out, but we're working it. And here's your favorite one, because I know you like to integrate AI into what you do. Yeah. But Penny she's been in effect now, and she's doing well. I think she had 77 contacts last week or something like that. And I want to say she handled 90% of the rates, so that was good. And, right now it's still in infant stages, but she got 3.74 rating out of 5 stars. That's not bad at all. That's not bad at all. That's a pretty good rating. And so we're excited about that. Obviously, with AI and, I noticed you were testing it and we got a long way to go, but boy, it's good to see that here's some ways where you can cut some costs and actually still be efficient with what you do. And then we got Alice Williams next week. I'm actually getting ready to go by the site. July 20th, we're going to do the event at 8:30 a.m. And right now the plan is to do it indoors, but we'll see how that works out. We're trying to make sure that, it's not like the Frickerson. I mean, we had people there and it was no kidding. The heat was just beating us down and my entire outfit was just saturated with sweat. So trying to figure out a good way to do that. And, we got 3 big AC units over there, so we should be able to keep people cool inside the place. But we'll see how that goes. And trying to think of what else we got going on here. That's about it from the city. I still think it's exciting times to be working for the city of Pensacola. Every time I listen to your side of it, I'm so gratified for what you do, the connection points, and how strategic you are each week, dedicating certain days of the week to cover stuff for the city. And I'm a firm believer it's good information, but it's even better information when you execute off of what you're sharing and what the people are sharing with the people of Pensacola. So that's all I got for you as far as the update. So I do have an event at Baptist at 9 this morning, but I'm standing by for any questions you got.
All right. One of the things that I don't want to be hitting the city up with, Cliff, and I probably need your help. But do you know that if you don't have cable, you're not able to get to city meetings? Did you know that? Unless you get, if you don't have cable or you don't have a computer, you're not able to get to city meetings. Were you aware of that?
No, I wasn't. That's I had to pause for a second because I'm thinking, man, this is interesting. You think everybody has cable, but then everybody doesn't have cable. And then I had to think about local news and how do I have to, no kidding, rig my system up at home just to get local news because I don't have cable. I just have internet.
Okay. Well, I probably need to put, I used to do this years ago before in our heyday, back before Hurricane Ivan came through and tore me down and I had to rebuild. But we used to, for the folks that didn't have cable and back then, a lot of folks didn't have internet, they was able to get the city meetings over the air because they used to pay me to air the city meetings over there so everybody had access to it. So I'm going to have to go back to that proposal, not only from a business point of view, but I think it's also from a community point of view, because a lot of other folks are not able to access what's going on down at City Hall during city meeting. But that's another story for another time. I thought I'd throw that in your ear so that we can throw the. But I got to get to I got to get to Tracy this morning, Travis this morning, because he's our special guest this morning. We're going to talk about the emergency management and the things that are going on for safety out at the beach this weekend and hurricanes coming up and we got the director, I guess the deputy director, if you will, of the Emergency Management Center, as Mr. Travis Thompson. Travis, good morning. How are you doing this morning?
Good morning, sir. Glad to be here. I'm doing good.
Thank you. Thank you for coming on, because we're glad to have you. And we probably want to get you on a pretty regular basis, because we need to keep up with what's happening. It's hurricane season, and we got to get tips and prepare for the hurricanes, and all these this weather pattern, everything's crazy these days. So we need to be kept on top of everything. But thank you for coming on this morning. I know you want to talk about specifically about what's going on at the upcoming air show and anything else. I'm going to turn it over to you, and let's talk about what to do, the do's and the don'ts for the upcoming air show. even talk about in case of impending weather, what do you, since you, from a safety point of view, what did you advise? But continue.
Sure. So again, thank you for having me on. We try to take every opportunity that we can to talk about the air show, about especially from the public safety standpoint of the air show. The real thing that we're really trying to get out information wise for this year, especially, is drones. So we, for the first time last year, had drone detection at the air show. And unfortunately found out that we had a bigger problem with drones than we realized. And so we're going to have that capability out there again this year. And we're just encouraging the public to understand that do not fly a drone during the air show while the civilian act is flying or while the military jets are flying. That's been something that you would think that people would understand that that's not a good idea to put up a drone while planes are in the air. But unfortunately, people don't necessarily think about that. Sometimes they want to get that, that extra special shot of the blues or something, and just don't do it. I mean, it's a major FAA violation. And this year, for folks that do violate that temporary flight restriction zone, which is the 5-mile box that those aircraft fly in, they're going to be turned into the FAA. And so you hate to do that, but that's something that's endangers the lives of other people, and that's just something that we can't have. But the air show this year, I was talking to somebody yesterday. The Wednesday show, the Breakfast with the Blues. Last year, the Blues flew for over an hour. I mean, it wasn't the full air show, but it was a great time for people to come out there, especially families. If you want to get out there really early, it's not too hot. You can see the Blues, maybe enjoy the beach, and then Thursday we've got a practice run for the Blues. Again, the parking lot for that incident, for that show, usually fills up about 9 o'clock in the morning. So if you want to get out there to see the Blues on Thursday, got to get out there pretty early. And then Friday, again, about 7 o'clock in the morning, it fills up. And then the Saturday show, if you're trying to park in the Casino Beach parking lot, it closed at 3:45 in the morning last year. So you won't be able to necessarily park in the Casino Beach, but we do have ECAT is available. They've got trolleys that are picking up in the different parking lots on Park East and Park West. So, keep that in mind to be able to, if you're wanting to see the show, but you can't park over there, there are other options for parking, and ECAT will pick you up. The other is, go ahead.
I'm glad you said the trolley going to be running. And also, is the ferry going to be running, do you know of?
It is. Now, you'll have to check with the ferry to make sure that there's still tickets available to be able to ride it, because it does fill up, but that is the ferry is another good option.
Okay. All right. Go continue.
So the thing to think about too is it's July and it's hot out there. So there's, we have a lot of tourists that come here that they want to come see the show. Maybe they, drove in from Central Florida or from Georgia, Alabama, they want to come see the show, but they didn't necessarily come prepared. So we do have water available at the visitor center there at Pensacola Beach. They'll be giving out water, but bring your own. That's first and foremost. But we do have that. We also have a large medical presence. So we have a medical tent set up in the Sheriff's Department's substation there, and so if you need medical assistance, if you're starting to have heat exhaustion or heat related stress, that is someplace that you can show up, and we will treat you there, and then we'll release you. We try to treat folks there at the medical tent and not have to transport them. We only transport folks that really need to be transported to the hospital now. So that's another good advantage. The other is have some patience, because I tell you what, you get out there and you're trying to get off the island after that air show ends, it takes a while. And people can get kind of frustrated sometimes, but having a little bit of patience, that goes a long way out there at that show.
Absolutely. Now, what do you advise on impending weather?
Good point. So we have some storms that look like that we may end up having on Friday and Saturday. Excuse me. So we would send out an alert to everybody that's at the beach that to take cover if we have a lightning that's impending. Basically, what happens when we have lightning 15 miles outside of the show center, we start heavily monitoring all, the movement of that storm, trying to figure out exactly where that thing's going. And if it starts to, get too close to the show or to the island where we're at, we send out that alert and we tell everybody to seek shelter. And if we send out an alert like that, please take that serious, because that means there is impending lightning, and that's certainly a threat. It's been years and years ago, but we did have some lightning strikes out there that hit some individuals. So again, please take that weather messaging serious. What we'll do is, if we have impending weather, we work with the Blues and with the Island Authority to possibly delay the show. The last thing we want to do is have to cancel the show on a Saturday and then have it on the Sunday. But we do. I think it was 2 years ago, it might have been 3, that we had a lightning delay. They delayed the show by an hour, but then it was able to continue. So weather's a factor. So you got to keep that in mind as well.
Speaking of weather, we are into hurricane season, and Travis, this is what we're going to need to do for us. Okay, I'm going to probably need to get with you to get you on at least once a month, and let's talk about hurricane preparedness and anything else along the safety. So if you can carve out about 10 minutes of your time once a month, and we'll get together to bring you on a very specific time that we know folks can look for you so they can have safety there. So what do you tell folks now for some quick safety tips for the impending hurricane season?
So we have there's 3 things that we make sure that anytime we get to talk about hurricane preparedness. Know your zone. Where do you live? Or do you live close to the water? That's the evacuations that we call for are for folks that live on the water. So know your evacuation zone. Do you live in an evacuation zone? If you do, and if we call for an evacuation, you got to take that serious, because that's storm surge, and storm surge is the number 1 killer in a hurricane. The people that don't evacuate, and that storm surge inundates their homes, and then they can't get out. So, right. So know your zone and know your home is the next, is making sure that you feel comfortable with your home, that it's, if you live in a mobile home, and we call for an evacuation, you want to leave. But if you know your home, make sure that you got your shutters up, that your house is prepared. If you feel like your house is okay to stay in, that's good, because you want to stay in your house and not go to a shelter if possible. And then know your plan. Are you going to evacuate? And if you're going to evacuate, what is that plan? Are you going to, to friends and family, out of state, or are you just going to stay in a hotel, maybe that's in the north end of the county? That's something that we tell people, that you don't have to go hundreds of miles. You could just go tens of miles, away from an evacuation. The other is making sure that you have 7 days. If you're going to stay in your home and you're going to ride out that storm, make sure that you have 7 days worth of food and water for everybody that's in your family. The old message was the first 72 is on you. Now it's 1 week ready, because you have to look at something like Hurricane Michael that impacted Bay County in 2018, and it was weeks for some folks in that county before they got their power back on. And so that's if we end up with a catastrophic storm, that can be pretty devastating, and the time frames for recovery can take a lot longer. The other thing too is the weather alerts. We send out weather alerts, and National Weather Service also sends out weather alerts whenever we have an approaching storm. So you want to take that very, very seriously. But just knowing that we live on the Gulf Coast, knowing that it's possible that we can have a hurricane, it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. Now everybody's kind of tied up with this El Nino talk this year, meaning that the Atlantic hurricane season is decreased, which is very good. That's we're happy about that. The Pacific is getting a lot more of those storms right now, but don't let your guard down, because 2018, again, when I said Hurricane Michael, that was also an El Nino year. And then we had one of the worst storms that have ever impacted the continental United States that year. So So keep that in mind. Don't let your guard down just because it's an El Nino year. We could, September, October is our peak hurricane season, and we're obviously going to be, watching that very, very closely.
Yeah. Travis, Jerry McIntosh is my co-host. Jerry, you got any questions for Travis?
Yeah, I would like to ask them. I know it's been talks about cuts to FEMA and states taking the lead rather than FEMA coming in and helping. How is that going to affect your ability to, hopefully we never have another hurricane again, but to move debris and making sure that people are safe after a hurricane and food and all of that is available to them. How is that going to affect your ability to do that if they're cutting funds to FEMA?
So I'm glad you asked that, and that's something that's obviously a lot of conversation has been coming around about that with the reorganization of FEMA and what they're doing with FEMA. I'll give you an example with Hurricane Sally, for instance. So that was during COVID, and we had a little bit different response to that as far as how the state and the feds were going to work with that. So. All disasters, of course, are managed locally, and then we coordinate with the state to bring in points of distribution for food and water, and basically the state is who we go to for any resources that we need, and then the state then would take our request for reimbursement, and that they would actually pay that, and then FEMA would reimburse the state. In some cases, FEMA would directly reimburse us. The way that things may end up, and again, nothing's really come out about it just yet, but I can foresee a scenario where that the money that is designated for a disaster is sent to the state, and then we go directly to the state for reimbursement, and we don't have to go to FEMA for that reimbursement. That would actually cut some things out. So, for instance, when we do a disaster assessment for after a storm, to figure out whether or not how much, if we can get declared for individual assistance and of course public assistance. So we do damage assessment, and then the state comes in and does damage assessment, and then FEMA comes in and does damage assessment. So basically it would be our damage assessment and then the state's damage assessment, and then FEMA, we wouldn't have to go through a third corridor to try for reimbursement. That money is sent to the states, and then the state, and again, then locals go to the state for that reimbursement. Now, the advantage that we have is that our emergency management team and along with the other emergency management teams here in the Panhandle work together, and we work with the state for other storms with like I'll give you 2024 is a perfect example. So we had Hurricane Helene, we had Hurricane Debbie, then Helene, and then Milton, and then our shop, the state asked for us to go and deploy and help those other communities, and which we did. We're glad to do it. And then then in turn, if we ever have something that happens here, then they can come back and help us as well. So we have an excellent relationship with the state. The state calls on us. We assist the state. We have a very good we have a good reputation, and we have a good relationship with the state. So that kind of helps we have a leg up, I'm just going to say, in our community to be able to get assistance very quickly.
But how if there's cuts to FEMA already, and the money that the state need to be reimbursed for through FEMA, I'm wondering, is there going to be enough funds available to the state of Florida and Alabama and Louisiana and all of those who are right? We are all in the eye of the hurricanes here, all the way out to Texas. If they're, with the kinds of funds that they're talking about cutting already, because there are places still in Arkansas where people are still reeling from last year. And so I'm just concerned that there are people who will be, left with the, with the bag to hold, that they don't have any resources to get to good water and food and all of that in those 70 days that they would need to make sure they have everything properly in place. And if your house get blown away or something, or torn, or no matter what you got for 70 days, it's all gone. So I'm just concerned that there's too many cuts being made to things that the agencies, I would say, that's help the people, especially FEMA.
Really, all I can really speak for is Escambia County in Florida. Now, I in other states, I do know and understand that there's a lot of other states that don't have as many disasters that we do. Like you said, tornadoes. I'm sorry, hurricanes. Tornadoes and earthquakes and forest fires and all those things are things that affect quite a few other states. For Florida, though, I know that they are the backup fund that they utilize to pay for hurricanes and hurricane the aftermath of hurricanes, so pods and things of that nature, that there is funding for that. Now, I can't speak for other states. I know that Texas has a pretty robust system, and Louisiana is really starting to get there with all the impacts that they've had within the last several years. Concerning that federal funds are being cut. Yes. I'm not going to argue with that by any means. I think that's something that needs to be looked at very, very closely. I will say, again, for our community, for Escambia County and basically the Panhandle, I feel pretty confident that whatever it is that we need, we're going to get. And that stands from relationships and partnerships that have been built up over the years. I know that there has been, again, and rightfully so, concern about that. But I know that in Florida, we're doing absolutely everything that we possibly can to make sure that if we get impacted by a hurricane, that we can still take care of people. And I can tell you from that is the most important thing, and the most important thing for my position, as the emergency manager for the county, is to ensure that we are doing everything that we can do to get into recovery as quickly as possible.
No, that I haven't kept up with Mustang Beach. Do you know if they have recovered or not totally?
Mustang Beach, you're gonna have to help me with that. I'm not familiar with Mustang Beach.
I might be saying it wrong. It was a hurricane that what? Am I right, Byron?
I'm not familiar with what you're speaking of, Jerry.
The last hurricane that hit, I thought, maybe it's I was thinking
here. Cedar Key?
Huh?
Cedar Key.
This was down further.
I'm sorry, Levy County, Cedar Key was impacted pretty heavily by hurricane. Which one was that? Helene. There were so many that year. And if I'm not mistaken, I know that they were impacted pretty seriously, and I know that they went into recovery pretty quickly with that. We had so many storms, and we had 3 pretty major storms in 24 that really the response to that was there was a lot of mutual aid and a lot of resources that came in to help those. Just because Florida was just hit back to back to back. I've not heard of issues that are really kind of outstanding, but then again, I wouldn't speak to that. We go into to help them with the response and short-term recovery, long-term recovery. And that's actually, I'm kind of glad that if we don't mind, if we kind of talk about that a little bit, we have a very, very good long-term recovery group here in Escambia County. So that's made up of a number of organizations that work. We meet monthly, and that's about helping people with housing and everything else after a storm. So that's something that unfortunately in some of the storms down south, it took them a year before they were able to start getting resources in to start helping people with housing, because they didn't have a long-term recovery group already set up now. And that's something that we do have in Escambia County. That's again, it's partnerships. It's you got Brace, who is it's Be Ready Alliance coordinating for disasters. They're an awesome partner. They head up long-term recovery for us. But then we have a number of churches and other organizations that are part of that long-term recovery group that we that we meet, knowing that this is a need that when we have a storm and we're impacted, we're not waiting months. I mean, we're looking at weeks to be able to start long-term recovery, and not be in these situations where we're waiting an entire year to try to start tapping into those funds to be able to help people out.
All righty. Travis, I really appreciate it. We want to have a continued relationship with you. So let's see if we can get together at least once a month and we can talk about these subjects as we come to them. But thank you again for your opportunity coming in and let us know what's going on this weekend over at the beach. Okay. And
absolutely. Thank you for having me.
You have carte blanche. Anytime you need to get information, you want to come on to this show, this station, just let me know, and I'll make room for you. Okay.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
All right. Thank you, y'all. That is Mr. Travis Thompson. He's the Deputy Director of the Escambia County Emergency Management Center here in town. Jerry, I want to get back. Is Cliff? I know Cliff had a Cliff. You still there, if you will? I know he had a 9 o'clock meeting.
I'm still here. I'm actually waiting for the group.
Okay, Cliff, I got a question I need to ask you, and several people have been asking me about this, and pass it on. They want to know about the Chappie Jane Memorial Plaza project. Are you familiar with that? They were supposed to have been putting a plaza there at the foot of the bridge. And another thing too, question I want to follow up with that, and I don't know how much impact the city has. I know city and the state, and there might be a collaborative message in this county. I don't know who has the lead on that project, but also they renamed that bridge after General Chappie Jane. I don't see any signs. I don't see any reference to it. I'm the only one on the one that I see, making sure that when we talk about that bridge, I make sure that we have people to call it the Chappie Jane Bridge. So I have several people question. In fact, I got a text this morning that said, please ask the city, what was the status on the Chappie Jane Memorial project, and if we need to round the people's interest again, and do you know anything about that?
Yeah, actually, I know very little about it, but I do know that David Stafford, the city administrator, attended quite a few meetings, and I could definitely probably get an update. I know when I came into the job, at least from what I recall, there was this was last August.
Hey, let me interrupt before I go.
Yeah.
Can we get David on to talk specific about that one of these?
Yeah, of course. I'll talk to him this morning when I get back.
Okay, continue. I just want to throw that in before I forget it. You know, when you get old, the second thing to go.
No, actually, I was going to offer that anyway. But at least from what I understood, and again, this is dated information, that the organization still needed to raise some more money. At least that's what I heard. And the bottom line, it was that everything was left into the organization's court. But it's been now 9-10 months, so I'm sure David has up-to-date information regarding that, and he can probably come on and share some perspective on it. Okay. So I can tell you, I know we are working it because I know he's attended quite a few meetings. And when I say working it, all I know is working that there's a subject, Chappie James. David was a part of those discussions. I don't know what the details of working means.
Okay. All right. Jerry, you got to want to go back on topic here. So you got some comments here. I know you got to run in a little bit, but stay on as long as you can with us. Okay. I'm coming back over to you, Jerry.
Chappie James, I was hoping that everything was put in place for this to happen because it was a great general from our area, who influenced maybe other young men, especially black men in particular, to go into the military and become pilots and to learn about who Chappie James was. And not only learn about Chappie James, but the other Tuskegee airmen and other people, and the women who were on the ground working on these planes for these. Most people don't even know that many of those mechanics and all of that were women that made sure those planes were safe for the men who were flying those aircraft into Germany and other places who never lost a bomber. They lost some of them lost their life protecting these bombers going over, but they never lost a bomber going into Germany. As a matter of fact, it was really them that saved, made sure that the war was won because of the Tuskegee Airmen and their acrobatics abilities with those jets that they were using, even though some of them was inferior. But they used their skills to maneuver jets as, just like we do on the basketball field and everywhere else, that if you let us in there, we will master it. But I'm glad they got the Chappie James Museum right behind our office that Move for Change. So young men and women who want to be pilots can go there. They have the simulators, I believe, there and everything else for them to learn. And I know it's, you have to get in early if you're going to get in. But I think that it should be a memorial to Chappie James at the end of the bridge, and one of those jets sit there, just to remind people, and like, as I said, and black people in particular, the history of how we were never inferior, but we were told that we was inferior. But once you put us in the position or open that door, because you couldn't put them in the position, but if you open that door, we will master whatever's inside there to bring it out.
I'm wondering though, Jerry and Cliff, I don't even see any signage of it. They designated that bridge to him years ago when they first built that bridge, right? But is there any? I don't travel that route often, but I went there this weekend. But I didn't. Maybe I missed it. But are there any signage saying that this is the Chappie James Tuscola Bay Bridge?
Honestly, I don't know. I haven't paid attention to it. I've heard it referred to as the Chappie James Bridge, but now you piqued my interest. I'm going to have to go and look at it myself. I do got one clarifying question that I want to make sure I understand. And obviously the main piece is David to come on to give an update. What specifically are we looking for? Is this an update on sort of the status of the bridge, or what is the update on?
Well, about a year or so ago, they broke ground. They broke ground on building this memorial park there at the foot of the bridge there. Okay,
gotcha.
And I think it was a project between the institution that's involved with the Chappie James and the city and the state and all that kind of stuff. But nothing happened since then. Okay, and they ran into some problem with money. I think the city was involved with some funding, and I don't know all of the details about it, but all I know, nothing ever happened. So you need to know the status. Is anything going to happen on that project, or what's stopping it from doing that? But to me, Cliff, though, my thing is, you heard me say this one time. You hear me say it 1,000 times. The journey of 1,000 miles starts with the first step, and to me. And it's been more than just a year. It's been years since they designated that bridge in honor of General Chappie James. But the least they could do is put the sign up there. You know, when you see this bauxite bridge and see everybody else, you know that's the bridge. So why that seemed to me, I know it cost millions of dollars to put that plaza there, but it don't cost that much money to put signage there, would it? That's my thing. I don't know. Am I off base?
Can I ask you another question? No. So Chappie James grew up in Pensacola. What area did he live in? Did he live like near Baptist here, West Pensacola? Where did he live at? Do you know?
Jared, if you got to go back, you got the movement for change. Do you know where?
Yeah,
Marina. Do you know where the Chappie James? Are you familiar with the Chappie James Museum? Cliff, I know you're new to town, but
yes. I know it. Yes.
There.
Is that the area he lived in?
Take it from there, Jared. That's the way he lived and raised right there.
Okay. So then he must have went to Booker T. Washington High School?
No, he went to his mother's school. Back in the day, his mother had a school there. Mrs. James had a school there. Jared, go ahead and take it over from there. You're right next door. You live. Movement's changed. Is in the museum's back door. So talk to him about it.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, you know, that's where he grew up at. That's where he was taught at, and but he was, you know, in other words, he before homeschool, he was homeschooled. So you know, and that, you know, that's in essence what it was all about. That. Because his mother was teaching,
educated.
It was educated, you know. So,
but it wasn't Booker T. Washington. He didn't go to Booker T.
I don't know. I don't know.
That was back in the early 30s and 40s. Clip. So I don't know. No, I don't know when Booker T. Washington came into existence, but no, that was pre Booker T. Washington.
If someone out there in the audience knows, you know, that they can hit us up and let us know, because I you know, and I got his book, but you know, I guess I must have looked over where he went to school at.
But Jerry, he went to Miss Lily James School.
I know.
Yeah.
I just
Googled it. Yeah, I just Googled it. It did say he went to Booker T. Washington High School, Pensacola, Florida, in 1937. He later attended the Tuskegee Institute. And I guess the reason I was asking that question, I know when I was coming up, and what sort of resonated with us as kids, people that went into the military, we had stuff around the campus that sort of, you know, was symbolic of the people that sort of contributed from my hometown that either went in the military or they did something significant, whether they went to work at Congress. And the school to me was the forever reminder in my mind, because every time I think back to the things and the people that I looked up to, it was the gift that keeps on giving, or the history that keeps on passing along to generation after generation, so that now you got kids that go to those schools, they know somebody who went to that school and they achieved this, then to me, the skies were the limit. So for me, failure wasn't an option when I left home. And so I know, looking at bridges and stuff growing up, that didn't resonate with me as much as something right at my school. That was just me, but I don't know. Today is different.
Yeah. I don't know, but go ahead, Jerry.
But you know, I think a lot of, you know, speaking of Chappie James going to, you know, being homeschooled and going to Booker T. Washington and on, I see a lot of people have turned to homeschooling in these last 30 or 40 years. A lot of homeschool, and those children are excelling, and, you know, really excelling in their academic, you know, careers. I mean, you know, whether they go to school, college, or whatever, whether they go into skilled labor now, skilled jobs, I would say, not labor, skilled job. But the thing about it, you know, it should be at least, like Vernon said, a sign put down there that says the Chappie James Bridge, and it might be if we haven't paid. Well, maybe we haven't paid enough attention to it, but it could be. But I haven't seen it. I haven't been across the bridge, and if I did, I didn't pay it. If it was there, I didn't pay any attention to it because I just knew it was Chappie James Bridge. But I'll
And
be looking for that.
But they commonly call it the Pensacola Bay Bridge, but I think
Yeah.
it duly should have been named specifically. We should call it what it is. We don't call
Yeah.
the Bob Sykes Bridge the whatever that bridge is. We don't call these other bridges. They got certain names in honor of our people. Let's do that, Jerry. I don't know, but you know, one of the major unsung heroes of all of this, and I think somebody needs to pay attention to it or make a movie about it or something like, is Miss Lily James. I
Yeah.
mean, she started it all by having the forethought to start her own school. Jerry, everybody that I know that went to Miss Lily James School came out successful in their own rights. I know a lot of people, and I don't know anybody that went to her school was not successful and well known in their field. And you know, for that, and she's the mother of the first 4-star general in the United States of America. Somebody ought to do a movie on that, because that's, you know, and she had what was her 11th commandment, thou shalt not fail, or thou shalt not quit, something like that. But I think the movie ought to be made about that woman, if you ask me. I don't think we pay enough homage to Miss Lily James.
And if not a movie, at least a documentary on her life and, you know, how she did what she did back then, you know.
And then having 17 kids of her own.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
Go ahead. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, maybe she had to have a school down here with that many children. She had her own schoolhouse. But anyway, let me stop joking about that.
Yeah, she had a couple baskets. She had 3 basketball team, a football team, and a baseball team. If you want to put it like that.
University.
But that's what people used to tell us about. At least your mom had 2 basketball teams and a baseball team. Because there was 9 of us, you know. So they were teasing us like that. But you know, just like other African American teachers and administrators that has you know, did their own schools, and people that came out of those schools, they were not, you know, they went on to do great things. You think about Dunbar High School in Dunbar in Washington, D.C. Most people don't know about it, but everybody came out of that went on to college and became lawyers, doctors, and everything else, because the people that were teaching there, a lot of them couldn't get jobs in colleges and stuff. So you had PhDs working at that was teaching at Dunbar in Washington, and man, everybody that was somebody came out of that.
You know, even at the Marvin Collins School, Jerry, I don't know.
Yeah.
Do you know anybody significant that graduated from? Even though she did some great things up in Chicago, up in your own stomping ground, but I don't know many great people came out of it. But I can name a lot of great people came from Miss Lily James School. You know.
Well, I guess you would have to know the people that came out of because they had a documentary on. I think it was a documentary, or maybe it was just some commentary that was taken on all the people that came out of her school.
Oh, did they? Okay.
So you know, I have to look it up. I have to do a little research on it.
I got a movie. I got my movie on Marvin Collins that I play, you know, on a periodic basis here on WBQP. She was a great woman, and she had some great ideas at the time, and did some great things. But again, I don't think that. I think Miss Lily James should have. She's one of the unsung heroes that I think somebody ought to pay attention to. If you ask me.
But you're right.
I know everybody looking at the clock. You got to be somewhere, Jerry, and I know Cliff got to be somewhere. I'm the only one ain't got nothing to do today, but sit around and hold y'all up.
Well, Vernon, I got something for you. So for the Navy, we had 2 4-star Black Admirals, Cecil Haney and I can't think of the other guy's name. Admiral Reasoner.
Gravely.
Reasoner. No, 4 stars. So
Okay, 4
Cecil
stars.
Haney.
Okay.
Yeah, and then Admiral Reasoner became 4-star Navies. Both went to the Naval Academy, but they're the only 2 that graduated from high schools in Washington, D.C. in the District of Columbia.
Okay.
Interesting,
Hey,
right?
Yeah, interesting. When we were talking about the Navy and folks, when I went into the Navy, and you're talking about people going out of high school, going into the military and so forth. I never heard, and a lot of black folks went into the military probably for 2 reasons. Number one, for economic reasons, and number 2, they went in there for equality reasons because they feel like they'd be treated better as a human being by joining the military. But when I got into the military and I heard this phrase, a jail or cell, I never heard that expression before. And you asked your brothers, why did you join the Navy? He said, well, I joined it because of a jail or cell. But I'm finding out that white boys was in the military as an option to go into jail, okay? Instead of sending them to prison or sending them to jail, they told me you go in the military and then but I never had that experience with black folks. We went to jail, we was in the military for economic reasons, or we was in the military for some other reason. But I thought I'd throw that tidbit in that jail to say it. I don't know, did you experience that when you was in the Navy?
I did have, yes. There are quite a few that I know that had the option to either go to jail or join the military. Yeah, interesting. I didn't hear it the way you did it. Jail or cell. We didn't call it that. We just in a conversation. Yeah, it's something else. I think even today now, at least, there's some variations of that where if we get the recruiters to do the appropriate interview, the level of scrutiny that we need of a personal traits, character, etc. There is an option where we can vouch for them to come in the military if they have some sort of conviction as well. I mean, that's just how creative we are. That if we say we believe in redemption, then you got to give somebody a chance to redeem themselves. Otherwise, we don't believe in redemption. We're just talking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Most of the time, Cliff, that's what's happening. We're saying we for redemption, and we just talking because it used to be you said that when I was growing up that jail was for rehabilitation. Now it changed to violent, vicious punishment.
Yeah.
It's no longer for rehabilitation. You go in there to learn how to be a better criminal.
Right? Ain't that the truth? They come out and they be like, "Yep, I know how to do this now.
Yeah,
I'm gonna get what I deserve."
Okay.
Oh man.
Okay, fellas, y'all got our time is almost up, but I'm gonna give each of you time to wrap it up. Cliff, what you got before we leave? Anything you want to wrap up on?
Well, I just want to again say thank you. Thank all your hosts that come on throughout the week to provide sort of a perspective to the people of Pensacola and to give updates on what's going on. I think it's changing the culture around here. I think what you're doing is having an impact, and keep doing what you're doing. I don't think you might not realize it, but I think you got actually congratulations. I heard you got a recognition on something, which clearly shows that people recognize what you're doing. So thank you again for everything you're doing. And I know the mayor appreciates it because he texts me every morning to make sure, hey, are you getting on the radio show this morning? Because he wants to make sure I got this covered, man. This is easy, but yeah, thank you though.
Well, I know I want to thank the mayor because the mayor, I'm telling you, he don't have to do that, but he does. And when he don't show up every Tuesday, y'all got a perfect attendant. When he doesn't show up every Tuesday, he makes sure that somebody shows up. You have been the gift to him that there usually be somebody else he had to pick and choose, but now since you've been on board, you're an automatic default. And I want the mayor to know we appreciate it. And I think the viewers and listeners appreciate him coming on and keeping it. Just his presence in the community means a lot, just for him to show up. And he take it seriously by making sure that that he's honoring his commitment to the citizens of Pensacola and the viewers and listeners here. But we want to thank him again. Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Jerry, what you got? Wrapping up.
Thursday, I was just going to speak on Thursday. We were talking about talking about the Democrat Party earlier. I think we need to talk about the social democrats that has gotten elected. And that some of the established Democrats are concerned about it because they put socialism on their name and not realizing, that, or they don't even understand what socialism means. Because we live in a socialized society. Our highways, our bridges, our schools, our Social Security, everything is a form of socialism. You put everything in a pot and distribute it out to the people. But because of our taxes is socialism. It's socialism for the rich and capitalism for the poor.
Poor, right? Exactly. You know what?
But they got it reversed. You know what I'm saying? We the one paying the capital, and the rich are getting the socialist part of it. So,
I tell you what, we really do need to have a conversation about this. But capitalism, socialism, and communism. See, Trump trying to now change the socialism. Socialism ain't bad. I don't care what they try to paint it. Socialism is not bad. Now,
if it was, we wouldn't be getting Medicare, and other countries wouldn't have free Medicare for their people overseas. Yep. But I know I'm gonna have to run, but I didn't want to get into a deep conversation back up. We'll be on here for another hour.
Yeah, y'all let's hold that conversation. Cliff, you hold that conversation for next Tuesday. We're gonna have to talk about this the socialism versus capitalism versus communism. Capitalism only works for the rich. Okay. All right, but I think with the 97% of the people in this country, we ought to be socialism. I think, in my opinion, I don't know about communism. I don't know much about communism, but all I do know is that they try to make it's a bad thing. Even in the Democratic Party now, is trying to buy into that BS about Democrat socialism being bad. Don't divide. What the best strategy to conquer? You divide and then you conquer, right? That's what they're trying to do: divide and conquer. Okay, so we need to come together. All right, y'all. I know y'all gotta go. Thank you guys. I appreciate both of you. And listeners and viewers, I thank y'all. Y'all just let everybody know that Morning with Vernon is on every morning between 6:30 and 9. And I got my host on with me this morning with Jerry. Jerry joins me every Tuesday and Thursday. Jerry and Cliff on Tuesdays. And tomorrow, Wednesday, Charles is my guest tomorrow, y'all.
Charles is your guest tomorrow.
Charles is not my guest, but he's my co-host tomorrow and everything. So Charles is Charles. So, but when he comes on here, he's my host. He ain't just but he let everybody know he's a Republican, but he ain't on here as a Republican. He's on here as my guest, okay? And that's my friend. All right, y'all. We'll see y'all tomorrow. Cliff and Jerry, y'all have a great day, okay? And tell Sheila happy birthday, Jerry.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Y'all have a great day. See you tomorrow.
It's time for Mornings with Vernon. Yeah. Yeah. Get up now. Come on now. Get up. For Mornings with Vernon. Get up now. Let's go. Get up now. Turn it up now. 1, 2, 3. Let's get it out.
Start your day with Mornings with Vernon on WBQP, Monday through Friday from 6:30 to 9 a.m. Watch on Channel 12 and listen on WBQP Radio on your phone, Alexa, or CarPlay. WBQP,